Warning, the following video is absolutely insane and extremely cringy and probably not funny at all. You have been warned. Welcome to GameCube Gallery episode number 16. In GameCube Gallery, we're taking a look at the GameCube library one game at a time. In the previous episode of GameCube Gallery, we took a look at Auto Modellista and the dumpster fire of a game that it is. But in today's episode of GameCube Gallery, we're taking a look at one of the best games ever made for the GameCube, and that game is Bratz Forever Diamonds. No! Who the hell are you?
What the f is this? Nobody wants to see this game. No. Oh, what's up, everybody? I'm Dr. Crazopolis. And, well, don't worry about Retro Wolf 88. He's gonna be fine. He's not dead or anything, I promise. We can communicate to Retro Wolf through this handy-dandy dimensional transporter gun. Now, let's go ahead and contact Retro Wolf and see how he's doing.
Where the hell am I? Why is the only thing in this room a CRT TV, a GameCube, a sink, a crate of ramen noodles, and a toilet?
Well, you see there, old buddy Retro Wolf. I have sent you to an alternate f***ing dimension, and you have exactly 1 f***ing week to play, beat, and review Dr. Muto on the GameCube.
Who the hell are you and why are you doing this to me? Also, what happens in 1 week if I don't do what you say?
Who am I? I'm a huge fan of your channel. And I'm also a mad scientist, in case you couldn't tell. My name is Dr. Crazopolis, and I am sick and f***ing tired of you reviewing every game on the GameCube other than Dr. Muto. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. If you do not complete this review in 1 week, I will open the door to the room you are in.
Well, shit, that doesn't sound that bad. I would just wait it out and get the hell out of here.
Oh, you think so? Well, here's the f***ing thing there, Wolfie. The dimension you are in is full of horny velociraptors with rocket launchers strapped to their back. And if that door opens, you're gonna have one bad f***ing day, my retro friend.
You are absolutely f***ing insane. If I finish this review, you will bring me back, right?
Of course I f***ing will. I'm not a monster. I'm a mad scientist. Your time starts now, Retro Wolf. Good f***ing luck. You're gonna need it.
One week later.
Okay, folks, it has been a week. So let's check in with our good f***ing friend Retro Wolf and see if he has accomplished his mission. Retro Wolf, can you hear me? Dr. Crazopolis here. Did you finish the f***ing review? Or will you be meeting some horny velociraptors?
Well, I finished the damn thing. Now let me out of here.
Well, f***ing hibbity-bibbity-boo, how about you? You actually did it! I'm proud of you, but not so f***ing fast there, Wolf Boy. I'm gonna need you to prove it. So let's get started.
Fine. Dr. Muto was initially released on the PS2 and Xbox on November 19th, 2002, then later hit the GameCube on December 17th, 2002, and there was a Game Boy Advance version of the game released on March 21st, 2003, but it was only in the PAL territory, sadly. Dr. Muto was published and developed by Midway Games, who back in those days was a huge publishing and development company. Dr. Muto is a single-player 3D platformer where you play as a mad scientist named Dr. Muto, whose newest experiment has destroyed planet Midway because it was sabotaged by his rival Professor Bernatal, and he sets out on an adventure to construct a machine called the Genitor 9000 so that he can rebuild the planet.
Dr. Muto reminds me of me, well, except not anywhere near as f***ing smart and not as good looking. And I have a much larger dick.
The story and themes in this game are definitely geared more towards adults, as there is cussing, violence, and sexual innuendos spread throughout the game, which is refreshing for a 3D platformer as most of them are geared towards kids. Dr. Muto is geared towards adults, and it is awesome.
Cussing, violence, and sexual innuendos are three of my f***ing favorite things.
You start off the game in Dr. Muto's lab, which is the only thing that has survived the destruction of the planet, and you must set out to the other planets in the solar system to retrieve the parts needed to rebuild the Genitor 9000, as well as collecting all of the bits of Terra and most of the isotopes needed to power the machine. These planets are where the bulk of the gameplay takes place, and each planet has a number of sub-areas that are all seamlessly interconnected, and each planet ends with a boss fight. Each planet has its own distinct theme and feel with its own unique enemies and gameplay mechanics. For example, the second planet, Achium, is a water-based planet. It contains sub-areas such as the Lagoon, the Oil Rig, Hydro Station, Waterworks, and Carlos Hole.
Whoa, hold on there, Wolfinator. What the f*** is Carla's Hole? On second thought, I don't think I want to know that after all.
Your goal in each planet is to acquire all of the Genitor 9000 parts, all of the Terra, and as many of the isotopes as possible. The Genitor parts are typically at the very end of each sub-area on each planet, as well as after each boss fight. There are 7 bits of Terra in each sub-area on every planet, and you acquire them by completing a variety of different challenges. Think of them like stars in Super Mario 64 or Jiggies in the Banjo games.
Speaking of Jiggies, remember that Will Smith song, Getting Jiggy With It? Those were the f***ing days, let me tell ya.
The objectives to acquire Terra could be anything from find and activate all these switches, kill these enemies, navigate these obstacles, solve this puzzle, etc. The cool thing is that pretty much none of these objectives to acquire Terra feel the same. Isotopes are scattered around all over the place in each area on each planet, and there are hundreds of them in each area. Not only do you need at least 80% of the isotopes in the game to power the Genitor 9000, but they also serve another purpose, which is to unlock formulas, which we will talk about in a bit.
You know what's f***ing funny there, Retro? Genitor 9000 is what I nicknamed my crotch! Or wait. No. It was Genital 9000, my bad!
There are 3 other collectibles, being vials, scrap parts, and DNA. Vials are how you restore hearts as well as temporarily increase your max health. Isotopes also allow you to unlock new blueprints, which creates a new gadget you can use once you collect 7 spare parts of a particular type. And finally, DNA is harvested from living enemies, and you need certain amounts of DNA from animals to complete your formulas and unlock new morphs, which we will touch on soon. Dr. Muto can jump, double jump, strafe, enter first-person view for more precise aiming, but you also have your Spliz capture device, and your main attack is your blast, which is a short-range blast attack for dealing with baddies. Your Spliz capture device attack has a few different functions. It can interact with switches and other objects. Some objects and enemies can be picked up with it and flung off in any direction. It can stun some enemies, and you can use it to extract DNA from animals.
Now, I'm no scientist, but spliz is a really dirty sounding word. Oh wait, what the f*** is wrong with me? I am a scientist, a mad scientist.
The real stars of the show here are Dr. Muto's morphing abilities that you unlock throughout the game by gaining enough isotopes and various bits of DNA. There are 5 morphs in total, being the Gerbilis Doctoris, Dogzilla, Arachnodoc, Spiny Dogfish, and Pterodactyl. The Gerbilis Doctorus morph is a small mouse allowing you to access areas otherwise too small for the doctor. The Dogzilla morph is a giant gorilla, and you move quite slow and cannot jump very high, but you do have a butt stomp attack and a clap attack, and as the gorilla you can climb on ropes to access high places or traverse large crevices that the doctor cannot cross. The Arachnodoc morph is a spider, and you cannot jump, but you are able to hit webs with your web sling and attach to them, allowing you to walk on walls and even ceilings to get to areas the doctor cannot access. You can also drop or throw an egg mine, which will explode after a few seconds. Spiny Dogfish morph, you can swim underwater, which the doctor cannot do, and you can swim very fast. You also have a spine shot attack, and you can hold down the attack button to perform a high-speed spin attack. And finally, my favorite morph is the Pterodactyl, which is essentially a flying squirrel. As the Pterodactyl, you can fly around freely and shoot a projectile, or hold down the attack button for a homing projectile.
I remember the time I morphed into a cat, and my f***ing ex-wife was like, "You have got to be kidding me!"
It's also worth noting that all of these morphs have an eating action you can perform, which essentially mimics your Sprizz attack. These morphs are so much fun to play as, and they provide a large amount of variety to the gameplay to keep things consistently fun. In addition to the morphs, you can also sometimes find the gadgets you have unlocked scattered around in levels. These gadgets are the rocket boots, which send you flying way up in the air, the super boots, which makes your double jump much higher, invisibility, which is self-explanatory, the pocket rocket, which is a homing rocket, and if you fire it from first-person view, it turns into a guided missile, the super baller, which is a machine gun that shoots bouncy balls that explode, and invincibility, which is also self-explanatory. These gadgets, when you find them, can make combat and traversal much easier, but also are sometimes necessary to acquire bits of Terra, and they just add even more variety to the gameplay. There are two main enemy types in Dr. Muto, being robotic enemies and animal life. For the robotic enemies, there are really three main enemy types you fight, but the character models are different between each of the four worlds, and they get progressively more difficult to deal with. The animal-based enemies have quite a bit of variety throughout the planets, and you can't actually kill them unless you have first extracted their DNA. There are also a variety of obstacles and traps you have to overcome in each world, and they get more and more devious as you go along. Each world is packed full of new and interesting environmental gameplay mechanics, some of which you may only see once, but damn, they will leave an impact on you, and it really further adds to the sheer amount of variety in Dr. Muto's gameplay. Not once in the game did I feel like it was repetitive, because there's constantly something new being thrown your way. The 4 boss fights are all pretty interesting and unique, although a few of them are pretty easy to defeat, and then a few are infuriatingly difficult, like the last boss. Speaking of difficulty, holy shit, this game is hard as hell. It starts hard and it gets even harder the more you play it.
That's what she said! I have no f***ing originality!
Each planet ramps up the difficulty more and more, and Dr. Muto will really test your skills and your patience. Every now and then you reach a section that is difficult in an incredibly frustrating way. For example, there are a few sections where you have to swing from bar to bar with the gorilla morph, and if your timing is not absolutely precise and perfect, you will either not swing far enough to reach the next rope and you will die, or the gorilla will simply let go and you'll fall to your death. And some of the robotic enemies are placed in and grouped in some very unfair ways that make it damn near impossible for you to not get hit. There are also some flying robotic enemies that you can pretty much only kill by grabbing them and flinging them into a wall or another enemy, and this is very wonky and doesn't always work well. There are some platforming sections that are incredibly frustrating due to where the checkpoints are placed, requiring you to redo large sections over and over each time you die. Another major frustration is the camera. Boy oh boy, the camera in Dr. Muto is bad at times, and it resulted in many deaths during my playthrough.
My God, Retro Wolf, stop being such a fucking big baby! I can beat this game with my hands tied behind my back while my ex-wife tickles me and pours lava down my throat! It's actually not funny, because she used to do that to me instead of sex.
These frustrations aside, I appreciate the challenge in Dr. Muto because let's be honest, Most 3D platformers are just way too easy. The graphics in the game are really good, especially the character and enemy models, as they have a ton of detail and some really nice animations. I did notice some pretty severe frame rate dips at times, but they never lasted very long, so I'm able to overlook it. The environments are also packed with detail and nice textures, but there sadly is a lot of pop-in with objects and enemies at a close distance, which makes it near impossible to pick out most objects and enemies from a distance. The music in Dr. Muto leaves a bit to be desired, as it is pretty minimalistic at times, and honestly I barely noticed it and it was pretty forgettable for the most part. The sound design on the other hand is quite good, with a ton of really nice and immersive sound effects and audio cues that really enhance the experience. There's also some voice acting with Dr. Muto and a few other characters, and it's really on point with some really good acting. Dr. Muto is a pretty damn long game too for a 3D platformer, as it will take you around 12 hours to complete the game and around 15 hours to 100% it. The game is so long and difficult that the fastest speed run for Dr. Muto is 5 hours and 21 minutes, which most of the time I see speed runs that are way faster than that. To sum up, Dr. Muto is without a doubt one of the best 3D platformers on the GameCube I've played, and easily one of the most difficult ones as well. It is packed full of fun and unique gameplay mechanics that help keep the game fresh throughout and not repetitive at all, and the overall presentation of Dr. Muto is top notch. If you are a fan of 3D platformers and looking for a really unique and original experience that is also difficult and geared more towards adults, then you have got to check out Dr. Muto. Just prepare for a challenge. Dr. Muto only received average reviews sadly, as the GameCube version has a Metacritic critic score of 63 out of 100 with 6 critic reviews, and there aren't even any user reviews on the site. Dr. Muto sold very poorly as well, as the GameCube version only sold around 20,000 copies, the Xbox version sold around 40,000 copies, and the PlayStation 2 version sold around 80,000 copies. This is such a shame because it's a really good game and definitely a hidden gem on all 3 consoles, and these poor sales crushed the chances of a sequel. So there are not very many copies of Dr. Muto out there, and although the price has not gone way up yet, it's only a matter of time. At the time of this video, PriceCharting.com shows an average loose price at around $17, an average complete price at around $29, and an average new price at around $39. At the time of this video, I'm seeing current complete eBay listings at around $39 with shipping, and I'm seeing recent complete sold listings at around $27 to $29 with shipping. Dr. Muto is only going to get harder and harder to find on all consoles, so if this game looks interesting to you, I would pick it up sooner rather than later. Okay, Doctor, I'm finally done. Now please bring me back.
Alright, folks, I think we've put our boy Retro Wolf through enough torture for one day. He f***ing did it, and I am a man of my word. So, let's go ahead and bring the good man back, shall we?
I'm back. I'm back. Oh God, it's so good to be back, everybody. Wow. As bad as that experience was, I'm actually glad it happened to me, because I never would have discovered the amazing hidden gem that is Dr. Muto if that had not had happened. And there you have it, folks. There's today's episode of GameCube Gallery. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure and hit that like button. Let me know in the comments down below if you've played Dr. Muto, whether it's on the GameCube, Xbox, or PlayStation 2, and what you thought about the game. Also, let me know in the comments down below if there are any games for the GameCube you recommend that I cover in a future episode. As always, folks, if you're new here, consider subscribing so that you can join the Retro Wolf family. And until next time, stay safe out there, watch out for crazy mad scientists that will send you to alternate dimensions, and keep playing games and having a good time, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.